Bill O'Reilly here, Thursday, October 3rd, 2019. You are listening to the O'Reilly Update. Here's what's happening across our nation. Bernie Sanders suspends all campaign events following a health emergency. The National Rifle Association declares victory over San Francisco. Americans spend more on taxes than food, clothing, and health care combined. New survey reveals the least and most tax-friendly states in the nation. Also ahead, the message of the day: does the press intentionally lie about President Trump? But first, Bernie Sanders canceling all future campaign events after being hospitalized on the campaign trail in Nevada. The 78-year-old underwent a heart procedure after complaining of chest pains in Las Vegas. Sanders using the incident to promote his Medicare for All program, saying none of us know when a medical emergency might affect us. But here's a fact. Congresspeople get the best health care in the world. But in many single-payer countries, there are long waits for a heart procedure like Bernie Sanders underwent. The National Rifle Association declaring victory in its legal fight with San Francisco after that city designated the gun rights group as a, quote, domestic terror organization. Mayor London Breed releasing a memo admitting her administration cannot legally stop businesses in the city by the Bay from working with the NRA. The average American paying more tax than ever before, handing the government about $18,000 per year on average. That's higher than household spending on food, clothing, electricity, phone bills, and health care combined. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, U.S. adults spend $17,000 annually on those basic necessities. New study says the least tax-friendly states in the USA are Illinois, Connecticut, New York, Wisconsin, and New Jersey. In total, taxpayers in these states can hand over more than 50 cents of every dollar earned. All of the governments there are Democratic. The least tax states: Nevada, Tennessee, Florida, and Alaska. The best for your wallet: Wyoming. Residents there pay a 4% sales tax. Counties can charge a maximum of 2%, and there's zero state income tax. Single resident in Wyoming earning $100,000 will take home $75,000 a year. That number goes down to $62,000 in New York City. Quite a difference. In a moment, do some in the national media intentionally lie about Donald Trump to make him look bad? Right back with that. Americans all over the country are voting with their feet, fleeing high-tax states like California and New York for states with lower tax burdens, including Texas and Florida. If you are thinking of voting with your feet, you need to check out realestateagentsitrust.com. At realestateagentsitrust.com, you can find a great agent in your hometown who will help you sell your home quickly and for top dollar. And wherever you're looking to move, you have great agents there too. They'll work on your behalf to find you a great new home and be your advocate so you can buy without the stress, worry, and travel of buying remotely. All agents have been heavily vetted for their past performance and, like you, are fans of this program. They are also waiting to welcome you into their communities and help you find your dream home. So get moving with realestateagentsitrust.com. That's realestateagentsitrust.com. Time now for the O'Reilly Update message of the day. President Trump said yesterday that the national press is basically corrupt. Is that true? Well, let's look at a dispatch released this week. The New York Times published an excerpt from a book called Border Wars: Inside Trump's Assault on Immigration. The authors, Julie Hirschfield Davis and Michael Shear, are Times reporters. In one passage, the writers say this, quote, "The Oval Office meeting this past March began, as so many had, with President Trump fuming about migrants. But this time he had a solution. As White House advisors listened astonished, he ordered them to shut down the entire 2,000-mile border with Mexico by noon the next day. Privately, the president had often talked about fortifying a border wall with a water-filled trench stocked with snakes or alligators, prompting aides to seek a cost estimate. He wanted the wall electrified, with spikes on top that could pierce human flesh. After publicly suggesting that soldiers shoot migrants if they threw rocks, the president backed off when his staff told him that was illegal. But later in a meeting, aides recalled he suggested they shoot the migrants in the legs to slow them down. Unquote. Now, this incredible reportage is based on interviews with more than a dozen White House and administration officials, say the author. However, they were all granted anonymity to describe sensitive conversations with the president and top officials in government. So, we don't know who they are. The New York Times uses anonymous sources almost every day to trash the president. In my book, The United States of Trump, there are no anonymous sources. Everyone is quoted by name. No one ever heard about gators and snakes being used for border protection. And I've talked to dozens, perhaps scores, of people who work with Donald Trump. No one has ever heard anything about that. No one had ever heard about electric fences or spikes that would pierce human flesh being used for border protection. Only a comedy skit could devise a scenario where the President of the United States was ordering alligators to be shipped to the southern border. Now, Donald Trump is not known for comedy, and I do not believe he proposed using alligators and snakes in a moat. The use of phantom people to slime any American seems to be brutally unfair. Sadly, many Americans do not ask these kinds of questions. They simply believe whatever they read, especially if they don't like somebody. Senator Kamala Harris immediately believed the gator snake thing because she wanted to believe it. This is the country in which we all live. It's awful. And that's a message. Please check out my latest book, The United States of Trump. We've posted an excerpt on BillO'Reilly.com. We hope you go there and read it this weekend. You can also see my TV commentary on BillO'Reilly.com. Up next, something you might not know. Millions of Americans have been diagnosed with cancer or a serious illness. If you are one of them and money is a problem, you're not alone. It's simple. If you own a life insurance policy of $100,000 or more, then Life Guide Partners can evaluate your coverage for free to see if you qualify for cash now when you need it the most. Be ready to take down this number. If you own a life insurance policy of $100,000 or more and you are living with a serious illness, then Life Guide Partners can evaluate your coverage free to see if you qualify for cash now. So write this number down, 1-888-GUIDE-50. Totally free to call. Get rid of those insurance premiums. Stop paying them. Consider turning that life policy into cash. The number again, 1-888-GUIDE-50. 1-888-484-3350. 1-888-GUIDE-50. Call now. Now, the O'Reilly Update brings you something you might not know. The U.S. military has more than 800 bases around the world, spanning 74 countries, occupying 24,000 square miles of foreign land. Wherever there are Americans or American interests, our men and women of the armed forces are likely nearby. Soon, they will expand into space. Earlier this year, President Trump signed a Space Policy Directive 4, calling for the creation of a sixth branch of the armed forces, the Space Force. The new service will join the Air Force, Army, Coast Guard, Marines, and Navy as the first military addition in more than 70 years. Quote, "It's not enough to merely have an American presence in space," the president said. "We must have American dominance in space." So what can we expect from the new Space Force? Well, under the current plan, the service would fall under the jurisdiction of the Air Force, the same way the Marines are administered by the U.S. Navy. The proposal would create the position of Undersecretary of the Air Force in Space and the Commandant of the Space Corps, who would join the President's Joint Chiefs of Staff. But I hope the Commandant has a spiffy, space-themed uniform. Economists say the new service will cost $2 billion in its first 5 years and would require 15,000 full-time employees, not counting Wookiees. Once established, the Space Force will oversee America's expansion into space and potentially the moon, administering satellites, missile warning systems, providing support to other branches of the U.S. military. And here's something you might not know. The Space Force will also have jurisdiction over the burgeoning space tourism industry. More than 700 people have already bought tickets on Virgin Galactic flights. SpaceX is planning paid trips to the moon as early as 2023. Experts say the extraplanetary tourism sector could be worth billions of dollars in the next decade. But what about the flight delays? Be tough to be stranded on the moon, wouldn't it? Finally, the motto has to be, may the Space Force be with you. Back after this. You know those robocalls you get? The ones saying you're pre-approved for a home loan or a credit card? Look out. Scammers may be trying to steal your home. More to the point, trying to steal the title to your home. It happened to a buddy of mine. Here's how it goes down. Thieves hack into computers that hold the legal documents to our homes. Then they forge them, so it looks like you actually sold your home. Then they go to unscrupulous lenders and borrow money until your equity is gone. Look, your home equity is your security for life, your emergency cash in retirement. So guard it with Home Title Lock. Home Title Lock helps keep thieves away from your home's online title and mortgage. If you've gotten calls stating you're pre-approved for a loan or a credit card, go to HometitleLock.com and enter your address to see if you're already a victim. You might be. And when you're at HometitleLock.com, I got you 2 months of risk-free protection. So please go to HometitleLock.com, HometitleLock.com. Thank you for listening to the O'Reilly Update. I am Bill O'Reilly. No spin, just facts, and always looking out for you.